people. Nothing of big interest or whatever, but these are the CSX trains. I'm at the railroad tracks in Bradley, and they're carrying phosphate. You can see it up top of the trains right there, little piles of it or whatever. That's actually the kind of stuff that I found in my bathwater when they had that sinkhole. But either way, I'm sitting in Bradley, and this is a train going by. This is an everyday occurrence, several times a day. Oh, good morning. Anyways, we're going to see how long the train is today. Pretty boring stuff, but I didn't have nothing better to do. There's the front of it up there. You can tell it's a heavy load. But that's actually the phosphate they're running through. CSX is probably the only company that Mosaic does not own a part in or, you know, have control over, because CSX refuses to sell out. Mosaic actually leases them. Hey Paula, how are you? Down here in Bradley at the railroad tracks. Mosaic actually leases the service of CSX every year. I think they renewed their contract, like, might have been 2 years ago they had to renew their contract. But they're holding out. They don't sell to Mosaic. They don't sell any ownership as far as their company or anything like that. They allow themselves to be leased, and that's it. We're going to see how long the train is today. They've actually got some new cars. Those are actually new cars. You don't see them that new very often. And those numbers on the trains, if you know anything about trains, you can actually look up the numbers. Like that in CS63XT 5268, you can look at those numbers and it will tell you what is in those cars. I never knew that till a couple of years ago. I thought they just put anything in anything, except unless it was a toxic chemical or whatever. But you can look at those numbers on train hauling, and those numbers will actually tell you what chemical, what rock, what anything is being towed in those cars. So, anyways, a little something of interest right there. Yeah, it tells the weight limit and stuff. Oh, called DEP today. Hey, Norma. Just down here in the Bradley at the train tracks. I called DEP today, and I asked him, I'm just going to go over it while we're watching the train. I asked him, you know, what was in those stacks, and he really didn't want to tell me. He actually said it's a mystery to anybody what's in them, but here's what he said is in the water and the gyp stacks. If you guys want to take notes or whatever. We got arsenic, sodium, sulfate, calcium. He didn't want to tell me anything else until I asked him about cadmium. Cadmium, lead, sulfuric acid, phosphoric acid, nickel, selenium, aluminum, barium, copper, chromium, fluoride, chloride, and sand, silica. That's what they got in those freaking gyp stacks in the water, plus a few other things he didn't want to mention. But either way, I asked him about these stacks that were growing in size down here that didn't have permits, and he denied that they're doing anything because they don't have permits. But I did find out a couple of the areas that I checked over last week with a video were actually under reclamation, so I guess they're spreading the berms out. Now what I did find out was, if you guys remember, this phosphate, this wet, they don't blow out. But anyways, what I did find out about the Bartow stack, when I called Callie Neslin, the public affairs lady down there at Mosaic a couple of weeks ago, she said she thought that they were permitted at the Bartow stack to be 250 feet. When I spoke to DEP today, he said the new well stack was permitted for 280 feet. Or no, I'm sorry, 270 feet. No, 80, I'm right. But then he said, hey Heather, but then I said, well, that's funny, because Callie told me that she thought they were only permitted for 250 feet. He said, oh, wait a minute. They're permitted for 320 feet in height at the Bartow stack. Oh, I'm sorry, that's the new whale stack. The Bartow stack, he originally told me was permitted what Callie told me was permitted for 300 or 250 feet. He said they were permitted for 340 feet in height, 750 acres. And he's going to get back to me with the Riverview stack information. The new well stack is permitted for 320 feet at this time. Now, we all know they can go up to 500 feet, but the normal permit is 250 feet. But Callie said she thought they were 200 feet. I'm sorry. Callie said that they were permitted at 250. Now, here's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking they were actually permitted for 250 and maybe have a permit in to go higher, but it hasn't been approved yet. So you guys watch the permits because they will probably be approved really quick as far as the height goes. But anyways, I wanted to catch you guys up on that. They told me some other interesting stuff, which I'll be posting on the page later. And according to him, they are not permitted to mine for just plain uranium and sell it. But I told him I'm going to call him on a different day and get all that info. But you guys see how high the train was. Hi, Kelly. They were watching our train, honey, and I was giving information on the gyp stack as far as what's in the gyp stacks and stuff. I got some new information on the BS Farm Ranch today. So give me a few minutes when I get home. I'll be posting all of this stuff as far as what mineral or metals and stuff are in the gyp stacks, how high they're permitted for, and what's really going on with Hooker's Prairie and BS Farm Ranch, which is a sewage ranch and things like that. So, all right, you guys. Hey, Steve, how are you? Hey, we're still supposed to do that lunch thing, dude. All right, I'll talk to you guys later. I'm in Braddock. I got to get some gas in my car.